Hey there, superstar. I'm Michelle Villalobos. In this video, I'm going to talk about big back-end business models for speakers. In this video, I'm going to dive into why it's beneficial for both you and for your clients for you to have a big back end. I'm going to talk about what a big back end even is, and then types of big back ends that you may want to consider. Let's go. The problem with being a speaker, and I know this because I am a speaker and I've been one for many, many years, over a decade now, is that speaking or giving a keynote, giving a training or a breakout session, 60, 90 minutes, even 2 or 4 hours, is really just the beginning of any real transformation. True lasting transformation requires mastery of something. And no matter what anybody says or thinks, you can't master something in a couple of hours. And so I know that if you're a speaker like me, then you got into this industry because you wanted to help people. You wanted to change lives. You wanted to help people have better careers, be better leaders, have more robust and vital health. Whatever it is, you know that what you teach and what the real outcome of the work that you do cannot be accomplished in a couple of hours. And that's where a big back end comes in. The big back end, the way I define it, is the mastery level work that you can do with a client to create real and lasting transformation. Now, the beauty of a big back end is that it serves the client because that's how they get lasting transformation. And it also serves you because that is how you can create clients for a long time rather than short one-offs or gigs. When you create a big back end, it's something that people enroll in for at least a year. That's my definition of it. Now, how I came to learn about this is because it became brutally evident in my own business and in my own life that I didn't have a big back end. Like many speakers, like all types of entrepreneurs, I was living and operating from gig to gig. I was always focused on the next month, the next 2 months, the next 3 months. It was a very short-term focus, and I was always trying to just make ends meet right away, now. I wasn't thinking really far out because I didn't have clients really far out. I was, trying to land gigs one at a time instead of creating long-term engagements and agreements with clients. Now, I know that not all speakers operate the way that I did, but I know that a lot of them do. So what happened with me was that I had a breakdown. I had a come to Jesus moment where I realized that the business that I had built was not sustainable. It wasn't supporting my health, my well-being, my financial health. It was very stressful, and I could never really relax. I couldn't take vacations. I couldn't take breaks because I felt like I had to always be in business. I always had to take every opportunity that came my way. I could never turn anything down because I never knew when the next opportunity would come. And so it all finally fell apart, my health, my well-being, my business, all of it. And I had to reimagine how I wanted my business and my life to be. And that is where I came up with the idea of the big back end. The big back end, in my case, and it might look different for you, is a community of people. So I enroll people that I meet, that I speak to, that find me on YouTube. I enroll them into a breakthrough program, which in my case is a 3-day retreat. It might look different for you. And then the goal of that is to serve them at the highest level in that 3-day experience and to identify those people that I can really serve in a long-term way and enroll those people into a 1-year program. And so that's what a big back end is. It's 1 year or more of monthly recurring revenues, a committed relationship between you and a client. Now, I want to share with you some ideas of what could be a big back end for you as a speaker. One of the most obvious big back ends that a lot of speakers have is some sort of consulting. Now, I love consulting because it's often very large paychecks for a good amount of time. But what I don't love about consulting is that it can be, not always, but it can be not very scalable. If you're the one doing the consulting, if you're the one meeting with the client, especially if you're the one traveling to meet with the client, then it's not a leveraged model. You have to be doing the work yourself. And a lot of times that's what consultants are selling, is their expertise, their mind, their focus, their time, and their effort. So consulting is great, and I invite you to consider something a little more leveraged, a little more scalable. So one of those types of models is a group model. A group model is wherein you enroll clients into some sort of group program or group experience. Now, I'm partial to a mastermind format. And the reason I love mastermind format is because it's high value and also low effort, or, comparatively low effort. I'm not saying that you just kick back your heels and do nothing. There's definitely work involved. But when you curate wonderful people into a mastermind, really all you have to do is facilitate, kind of lean back a little bit and let the people be magical, because that's what happens when you put good people in a room together and you have a good structure for facilitation. Magic is going to come up. People are going to share best practices. They're going to start to support each other and help each other. And by the way, I know that it doesn't happen overnight, or that it's maybe not that obvious how to create that, but it's not as hard as you might think. And in fact, I have several videos, and I invite you to check some of them out, on how to create a group mastermind or group coaching format program. By the way, speaking of other videos I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you get a notification every time I drop a new video, which I do pretty often. And also, please do me a favor and like this video. Let me know that you enjoyed it and are enjoying it. Another type of big back-end business model, which I absolutely love, and this is a model that I am creating as we speak, but I have not actually launched it yet into the world, is some sort of certification, or I'll put it together with licensing, certification/licensing. What that type of model looks like is, once you have a methodology that you know works, that you've tested, that you've implemented for at least a couple of years, I would say, and you've got case studies, you know that it works, and you know that it can be replicated again and again, that's when you can start certifying and training other people to deliver it instead of you. This is a fantastic model. Not only does it drive big back-end revenues in the form of certification fees, licensing fees, annual renewal fees, however you might want to structure it, it also creates a community of people who are all using your material, who are all doing kind of the same thing, so they can support and help each other, and you can even monetize that. You can create cohorts and mastermind groups within your certification and licensing program. So I'm a huge fan of these types of models. If you want to see examples of people who are using these models effectively, look at Mike Michalowicz. He's my friend and one of my mentors. He wrote the book Profit First, Clockwork. He has a whole bunch of books out there. And Profit First is probably the best example, or at least the one that I know the best, of taking a methodology and certifying and licensing other people to take that methodology out into the world. So Mike Michalowicz, Profit First, Sally Hogshead with her Fascination Advantage and her How to Fascinate test. She has people that are certified and licensed in her methodology who are taking it out into the world. Gino Wickman, who wrote the book Traction, he has implementers, like logistics and operations experts who go out and help visionary CEOs implement all their amazing ideas. So those are just a few examples. I hope that this video was helpful for you and you got a few ideas about how you can create a big back end from your speaking business. And if you're curious and you want to map out a new revenue stream or series of revenue streams, new business model, then maybe I can help. This is something that I do for a living. I have a Superstar Business Breakthrough Program, and if you're interested in learning more about that, let's connect. You can find out at superstaractivator.com/go.